Hi everyone, I thought I'd just do a quick video about a cool drone I found on Amazon, which is the Holystone HS210. It's sort of like a toy drone, but it's really cool. It's got altitude hold and I really like it. You know, I've flown little FPV sort of mini whoop drones before, and they're quite difficult to control compared to like a camera drone. So it's very sort of, yeah, you know, it's quite hard to get to grips with, so you often end up getting very frustrated. The only shame with this is it doesn't have a little camera on it, but I paid 24 quid on the Amazon sales, which I'll put a link to, hopefully still have a sale on. But I'm also trying out my new hat cam. Basically, I've got a GoPro on my hat, and I'm going to attempt to walk around the house and show you this drone. So if it goes badly wrong, it's my first time doing this, so let's see how we get on. Yeah, I'll show it on the other camera, which I've got set up as well, so we can try and get some shots of it there. Rachel's in the background trying to make dinner, and Emily's pulling all her books out, so I think you probably see her in the camera. But yeah, basically, let's just take a look at what you get in the box. So it was like on a sale. I think it's usually around about £25. I don't know about dollars, probably similar in the US. It's a Holystone drone, but I guess it's probably... It's even, I think it's a JJRC H36 probably underneath. A lot of these drones are kind of rebranded for different shops and what have you. So in the box, it also may be an Eachine E010. You get a little LiPo charger in the box with it, and that charges the generous 3 batteries that you get. Of course, you get the quadcopter. Pretty cool. I mean, this is a really cool little drone. I normally don't really play with little toy drones, but actually this is really, I really enjoyed it, and it's so fun to fly. You get 3 3.7 volt 250 milliamp batteries. Now they last, you know, I'd say a good 5-6 minutes per battery, and that's pretty good for these little mini quads. So what else do you get in here? You get your controller. I previously opened this, so if it looks a bit sort of messy in the box, that's mainly my fault because I've re-unboxed it. But yeah, you get a little controller. One of the things to look for if you're looking for a quad with altitude hold, which is what beginners really need to enjoy this sort of drone, you'll get a controller. So when you see the pictures of the quad, if the controller has this left stick pressed all the way down, then it's probably a manual throttle, which means it probably doesn't have altitude hold. If it's pressed up or down, but not centered, I mean, unless it specifically states altitude hold, I'd be nervous. But basically, sometimes you can't get the specs, and there might be a really good offer on one particular quad that you think, oh, that might be altitude hold. So anyway, basically, you want your thing in the middle, you want your stick in the middle, so it kind of springs around like that. And the reason you want that is because that will give you the altitude hold and not the manual throttle. So what you do is you charge up your batteries, of course, with your LiPo charger. That can be plugged into any sort of USB phone charger type deal. But you get 3 batteries, really cool. So let's stick, actually I want to stick the battery inside there first. I don't know if you can see this well, but yeah. Stick it in like that, right? And then you should see like a flashing light. And then what you get a little controller. I've unscrewed it. They put a little screw in there to sort of protect it for children. You stick in 3 AAA batteries, but each controller may vary depending on the model you get. But with this one, it's 3 AAAs. Okay, so you do that. Now what I want to do is I want to bind it. You just push your left stick up and down, that will bind it. And then if you've got a nice flat level surface, you want to sort of calibrate its gyro in it, which will get it to like kind of stay more level. And you do that by pulling the sticks down, both sticks down and to the left, and that will then flash the LEDs on the quad, and then it'll start flashing when it's done. So with this quad, you get basically the ability to do like one key start, they call it, although it's kind of two, I think, because you have to press that one and then press up. Now it will drift a little, but the thing is it will hold its altitude very well. So basically I'll try and bring that down to the camera. The cool thing is we got a few batteries, so if we run out of battery we can, but I'm just orientating myself there. But yeah, you can see that on the camera. I mean, I'll spin it round. I'll try and bring it. It does have trim controls on this, which help you to get the level right. And the way that you do that is you kind of push down the left-hand stick and then push across on the direction. And then that will basically sort of trim the, so you push down on the left stick and then use left or right. And then that will try and get your position. You know, it'll sort of, it'll try and improve its kind of gyro and basically keep it in the same position. But it's very easy to control because of the altitude hold. You don't really, like with a traditional little quad, you would have to be constantly monitoring the throttle and putting power on. But this is really beginner friendly, which is why I was so keen to make a video of this, because I just love it, think it's brilliant. You can fly around pretty fast. There's 3 speed settings. So you look how, you know, I mean, there's a little bit of drifting. I'm not going to say that there isn't, but it's very, yeah, you sort of can trim it back. So just try trimming it on the controller there, and then that can trim it back. But it's got 3 speed settings. So you've kind of got a, you know, kind of slow setting there. Hang on, I'll just trim it back. And that's a bit of a faster setting. That's the intermediate. And then if we go like that, you got a really fast setting there. But it's great, you know, you can fly around this. You can fly around really fast. Look how it just flies around the house. Just amazing, you know, really easy to turn, really easy to control. I recommend starting in the sort of bottom speed setting or intermediate perhaps in the middle, but it's pretty good. It's supposed to have a return to home key. I'm not really sure how that works. If you press that, it just seems to land. So I'm not sure that's really a return to home. It's more of a landing. Oh, I better pick it up before Emily tries to run and grab it, because she is quite fond of chasing it around the house. But yeah, basically, it's a really cool little quad. It's got headless mode, which basically, when you do that, it will always kind of go one direction. So I think if you turn it, it will always still go forward. You know, whatever heading you put it in, it will basically go forward. So let's turn that off and bring it back round to the camera. But yeah, basically really cool little, it's very easy to control. These sort of drones are usually very, very, very fiddly. And, oh, hang on. Yeah, I mean, it's more difficult doing it because I'm talking to you on the camera at the same time. But I tell you, it's just so cool to fly. And I must admit, it's probably one of the most fun drones I bought this year. And let's bear in mind, I've bought Skydios, I've bought Air 2s and all different drones. And to be honest, this is my most favourite drone that I bought all year. It's absolutely just so much fun. And the only downside that I have with it, which I really wanted, but it's very hard to get one of these drones that have it. But basically you want a camera, ideally, an FPV camera, with goggles, and then you can kind of fly it around your house. You see lots of videos on YouTube where people fly around the house and they are basically bombing it around their house like an assault course with like goggles on, and it's all first person view. But this is just, I don't know, it's just, you know, this is the problem with those drones is I've tried flying those sort of drones that you fly around the house like a crazed loon, but their controls are very advanced for a beginner. Whereas these are very easy to control. And I don't know, there's a kind of, you know, I don't want to say, you know, be nasty, but there's a kind of snobbery in FPV drones where, you know, beginners are kind of like, well, you know, oh, and it just bounces off stuff as well. If you hit a wall or something like that, it will just bounce off. There's no issues at all. And it's very easy. Unlike the oh, hang on. Basically, yeah, and look at that. It just had no problems then. It bounced off the stairs. No problem there. I'm trying to basically navigate the baby gate and move this drone around at the same time. But basically, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Take it around the house. I mean, you know, a lot less dangerous than flying your Mavic Mini around the house. Going to Emily's room and have a look. But yeah, basically no problem. It's flying around. Oh yeah, there's some drawers on the floor because we changed our bed recently, and yeah, I mean obviously that's not Emily's bed, the big double bed. This room just had a double bed in it before Emily was about. But yeah, basically what a cool, just a really cool drone that you can easily control. There's a little bit of drifting going on, but if you're in a sort of like reasonable space, don't have to be massive, and you've got full control of it, and you're not talking on a camera at the same time, it's a lot easier to control than, yeah, so just come into our room with it. And yeah, it's pretty, you know, I'm pretty amazed with how just so controllable it is, that I just really wanted to share it, because actually, I don't know, whenever I've tried these sort of toy grade drones before, they just haven't lived up to, you know, you get them and they're just so amazingly poor. And to be honest, sometimes I think it's because their control mechanisms are quite advanced, and they're not really designed for people who are used to camera drones. You know, camera drones are much easier to control. You've got GPS and optical flow and all that kind of stuff. So you almost have to be a helicopter pilot to be able to do it. And it was flying around then. I think the battery's probably getting low, but this is really good battery for a mini quad like this. I mean, usually on the FPV style ones with goggles and what have you, you will get, try and trim that back a bit because it's a bit, you usually only get a few minutes. You gotta be careful. I reckon we're gonna have to rely on Rachel there to close the gate, because I'm trying to do too many things at once here, and it's not a good idea. I don't know how much you can see of this on my head cam, because this is the first time I tried out the head cam. I bought the hat a while ago, and I just never got around to actually doing a video with one, but I thought this would be a cool time to have a go. But yeah, basically, look at this. We are going, I think it's giving up the ghost. I think that's the battery power now. It will auto land when it runs out of battery, but of course we've got more batteries, so that's what's really cool. I mean, the deal that you get with this is just phenomenal value, really. You know, 3 batteries with it, and they're not very big batteries either, and they're quite, I think they would be quite cheap to you know, basically source more batteries like it if you wanted to. But I think with a drone like this, you know, you probably would just, you know, basically put another battery in it, and away you know, we just buy another drone basically, because you know, they're so cheap. But you get a 12-month warranty with it, you get instructions. I mean, it's all kind of overkill, really. I just think it's one of those quads that you can just get and have a go. You get a spare set of props, both different kinds. Basically on a helicopter, quadcopter, sorry, you get 2 kinds of props. So one kind they're diagonal basically, I think. So basically one will be counterclockwise and one will be clockwise. So basically you're essentially getting a replacement prop for each blade. You get a little kind of tool in there, little sort of like metal tool for jimmying them out of their position. That, you know, you kind of need that to get them out. If I can take this stuff apart, you get a little Phillips screwdriver. Got to be careful because Emily is very good at getting boxes. You get a little Phillips screwdriver, you know, usual stuff you get in a lot of drones. Yeah, I don't know if you can see which camera you can see that on. But yeah, 3 batteries is the headline, the spare set of props, and you also get the little sort of metal tool. I mean, for 20, you know, for between, I think you'll get them on different deals, like between £20 and £25, but you know, for the money that you're paying to get those 3 batteries, those 3 LiPo batteries in there with the charger. And it's also a decent charger. It's not like one of those sort of, you often see like circuit board exposed chargers with these. And you get a like nice decent LiPo charger with it. And you know, I paid more money for like a little mini quad, FPV quad, that had like a circuit board charger in it. And yet this drone is just so fun. And basically, I think the thing with this drone as well is that you could basically you could maybe, if you know how to solder and maybe do a bit of like kind of hacking with it, and I may have a go at it, but basically I may stick a little like FPV camera on this and get the goggles going. So maybe watch out for a video later on of that. But yeah, can you see, like, you know, just a tiny little quad, really cool, really good little bit of fun. We'll just get the battery back in again and see if we can take it for a little flight into the kitchen. See how we're getting on in there. But yeah, basically be careful with the polarity as well. Make sure you put the plugs in the right way, that kind of thing, because very easy to fry these sort of little quads. Right, turn the power back on. Again, up and down on the left-hand stick here. That just makes it bind with the copter. And then down and to the left on both sticks. Boom, punch it up. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, honestly, you will not find a more fun drone outside of like the DJI FPV drone maybe at the moment. Basically, and if you can't stump up the sort of like, you know, what is it, like basically 1,250 quid for the combo of the DJI FPV, then this is definitely a really fun little drone that you can fly around. I mean, it hasn't got a camera, but I will be searching the internet for an FPV drone like this that has a camera. And if you have any suggestions, put them in the comments, because I would really love one like this that has altitude hold. And I really want one of the toy grade ones. I don't really want the sort of beta flight firmware ones. I really want a toy grade one just like this, but with an FPV camera mounted on it. And I'll tell you for why, because it just works. You know, when I've tried to fly FPV drones before, they're very hard. You need to be a skilled pilot to be able to fly them. And a lot of people, you know, you kind of get the coordination right in your brain, basically, of controlling the altitude and the direction, the yaw, everything is basically very hard to keep control of. So you just fly into the kitchen. Hopefully we won't disturb the dinner making, but basically, yeah, look, it's just, I don't know, it's just so cool, so maneuverable. It holds its position relatively well. You know, it's not hard to correct it in the air. But the thing with the FPV drones that these kind of preceded these was that, you know, the like kind of toy versions, you know, maybe of a few years ago, was that they basically would basically sway all over the place. So you had to control them, and also you had to control the altitude as well. And that's quite hard, you know, you know, it's very sort of tricky skill to learn. I mean, I'm not saying it's not doable, and I'm not saying it's not worth learning. But I would really, when I got this, I just thought this is brilliant because it's so much fun. It's the sort of thing that you'd get on like a Christmas day or something and think, wow, I can bomb this around the house and have great fun, annoy Rachel while she's doing the cooking. You know, I mean, it's trying to keep Emily busy there. You know, she won't have another tantrum again about having the box. But yeah, basically, it's just such a cool little drone. And I really hope you're seeing this properly on the hat cam, because it's, you know, it's the first time I filmed it, and so I don't know exactly the position I should have my head in. But yeah, it is just, honestly, it's just so much fun. And it's my favorite drone at the moment. And I've got so many ideas to stick cameras and stuff on this and get the goggles out, because to be honest with you, you know, you know, I'll take you over here to the corner where we've got like a BetaFPV Starter Whoop drone. And that, you know, costs like £100. You know, I'm guessing about $100 as well. But yeah, basically, I don't know if I can bring that over to the camera. And that is an option. It's got the camera on it and what have you. But I just think this is so much more fun. The toy grade one is so much more fun. I mean, you can see they're almost the same type of drone. But it just, the control mechanism for a beginner is just so good. And I know a lot of people say, no, you just need to learn how to control it and you'll get there. And yeah, you will get there eventually if you learn hard. But it is a hard skill to learn, and I think that this is just such a cool, this is a cool alternative if you just want to bomb it around the house. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put the speed up, and I'm going to bomb it around the house. And look at, I've only been playing with this for a few days, and I am now bombing it around the house, no problem. It's absolutely, it turns on a sixpence. It's such a fun drone. Yes, you'll have crashes, but it's so robust. I tell you, the money that I paid for this is just so, it's so much worth it. I think, you know, if you're stuck locked down in your house or any of that kind of stuff, you know, this kind of drone is just amazing for, oh, nearly hit the camera. but it's so maneuverable, and to be honest with you, it'll do no damage to anything. You know, the Mavic Mini went into the door frame here, and you know, you nearly have a sort of heart attack over it. But this doesn't cost any money, you know, well, not huge amounts of money, and so therefore it's perfectly fine to kind of crash it into stuff. In fact, it's designed really to be very robust like that. But yeah, oh yeah, the green way is forward. They do have it in various colors though. They had it in red, blue and green. I really wanted green because I didn't see red at first. I'd quite like red, but green's cool. Green's a cool sort of you know, color for it. And the name Holy Stone almost sounds a bit Irish. You know, a bit of a Father Ted reference, I think there. Don't know if our American viewers will understand. I don't know if you get that over there, but basically, yeah, it's just so cool. Yeah, they had a red version, a blue version, and in fact the red version was on a cheaper deal, but I didn't spot it. And but that's fine. Look, you can trim it by pushing down on the left hand stick, and as you can see, look, I can counteract. So if it starts drifting right, get it to go to the left. You know, it's that sort of thing. You know, it's just so fun, and after a while, it just becomes second nature. Moving it around, and there's no altitude. You don't have to worry about the throttle. I'm sure some FPV people will comment and say, no, that's not proper FPV, and you're right, it's not. And it's not even FPV really anyway, because it doesn't have a camera or goggles or any of that. So, but hopefully we'll try some drones like that. But I really would like to get one with altitude hold that isn't rubbish. You know, I've tried the BetaFPV one, which it's kind of got helpful modes on it, which basically, you know, make it a bit easier, but it's still hard. I tried an Emax Easy Pilot. That wasn't, you know, again, it's hard. This is the most this is the most fun thing that you can get. I genuinely believe that this is so much more fun than those. It's really cool. It can be flown around like a crazed loon. Rachel's constantly ducking out of the way because she's constantly seeing me fly it around the house and thinking, oh, he's got that damn drone out again, and he's flying it into everything. And yeah, you know, because from the minute that you get this thing, it is so much fun. Right, let's stick it in full speed mode. Whoa, look at that. You know, look at the speed of that. Hang on, see if I can come around from behind the camera. There we go. Woo! And it's so light. I mean, this could hit you full on in the face, I think. And you probably wouldn't feel it. It is really, really light. And it's just amazing, really. You know, and you get really used to the control mechanism. And it stops really fast. It's really, really maneuverable. There's nothing about it that makes me think, oh, this is substandard or toy grade as such, really. Yeah, it just kind of blew around there a bit. But anyway, yeah, I really like it. I think it must be getting low on power now. Yeah, it stopped itself. We've got one more spare battery, but to be honest, you're probably bored of watching me shout about this drone. But yeah, it is just phenomenal. Emily would love it if she could actually fly it, but she can't, and we won't let her. But yeah, I mean, compared to, it's the same size as like a BetaFPV. So, you know, but this just costs so much more money. I know it's got a camera on it, but it's so much harder to control. We really need one like this with a camera on it. And I know that some exist out there, and I have tried a couple, but I just haven't gelled with any of them. This one is just so easy to fly. Now, I know it's probably sold on lots of brand names. I expect you'll find it as a Eachine something or other, I don't know. I mean, basically you're looking for altitude hold, but I think, I don't even know if it is a JJRC H36. It may be a JJRC H83, but basically you want altitude mode. But I'll put the links to this one from Amazon, and I'll have a look to see if I can find the US link, because I'm not sure about that. But yeah, if we could just stick a little FPV camera on there, and it could carry the weight, maybe it can, maybe it can't, I think we'd be onto a real winner there, because it's just so fun fly around. But yeah, I mean, this one's got the camera, and if you want to learn how to fly FPV, then you know, I don't think you can go wrong with the BetaFPV one. It's that you can get like a starter kit. You know, it's about £99 over here. I don't know in dollars, probably similar, like $99 probably. It's usually pounds to dollars are pretty much just switched around. For some reason, the exchange rate isn't like that, but it seems to be the case with prices. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool little drone. It's just very hard to fly in comparison to that one for beginners, and maybe we'll do a video on this one at some point. Main reason we haven't is because frankly I get it off the ground and it starts going towards the wall. It's very, I mean, I really need to learn how to pilot it properly. So but yeah, I mean, hopefully that was useful to you. You know, if you want a cool little toy to fly around and just annoy your partner or your little kid, that's one of the coolest ones you'll pick up. You get a lot for your money. You get 3 batteries, you get the charger, you get the extra props, you get lots in the box. You know, it's a really cool package, really worth, you know, I'm guessing it's 20 odd bucks, 25 pounds. You know, it's basically, well, it's just so good. I mean, the controller, very mini, but you know, does feel nice and easy to control. You know, yeah, I like it. I think it's really good. One of the funnest drones that I've bought this year. But it's not an outdoor drone. Maybe if it was, maybe if there was like a really calm day, you could take this outside and fly it. But you know, in the UK, it's gale storms every day. I mean, we rarely have any normal weather. So if we ever do have any normal weather in this country, then I will attempt to fly it outside, but I've never seen any in my lifetime. So, but we live in hope. You know, we hope one day that we do get blessed by the weather gods, and they allow us to have a day of sunlight and a day of calm weather, and hopefully they'll come one day. But anyway, yeah, but thanks very much for watching. I hope that's really useful to you. I just wanted to show you that really cool little toy, but it's just amazing. You know, I really like it, and yeah, I know it's not one of our usual type of drones, but you know, I thought it'd be cool to give it a fly round. But yeah, if you like that sort of thing, please subscribe. If you could like the video, that'd be great, and we'll see you again in the next one. Thanks very much for watching.